to be like this? Okay. Okay, so today is Indie Bookstore Day and I have planned out a route for Andrew and I to go on. We're going to be hitting up a ton of indie bookstores in New York City and I'm going to be bringing you guys along with me. And we also are probably going to have a cameo from Alexa Loves Books. She's going to meet us at one of the locations, come to a couple of bookstores before she has to depart for some other plans. But that's pretty much the plan. I'm really excited to celebrate Indie Bookstore Day. I obviously didn't get to do anything last year, but now that vaccinations are rolling out and things are seeming a little bit safer, I am so looking forward to going to a bunch of indie bookstores. And I think my plan is to try to get one book from each store so that I can support each one. I have already failed with my goal for my April book haul, so why not keep going? That is my mentality, which is not a good one, but it is what it is. Andrew's grunting in the background. But anyway, that is the plan for today. I'm just going to make some breakfast and then we're gonna head out on our way. Doing a quick little outfit of the day for Indie Bookstore Day. Don't mind the mess behind me.
on books.
Guess who crashed Kristen's vlog? Me.
You were invited. I already said that we would have it.
Was I? I was like, oh, it's indie bookstore day. And I'm like, Kristen, are you going anywhere?
Too funny.
I'm very pleased.
We are home to drop things off, but I thought that I would do a quick little book haul to show you guys what I got so far. So I brought a tote bag with me, which is a good thing to do when you go book shopping. And I picked up one book from each store, so I have 3 books to show right now. So first, I'll actually say that our day got thrown a little bit off course because some of the subways were closed, but there was nothing about it on the MTA website. So then we ended up walking like over 50 blocks to get to our first location, which was definitely longer than we were planning on walking, but it was so nice out, so it was like totally worth it. Though both of us are exhausted right now, but we have to like drink water and have something quick to eat and rally because we have 3 more bookstores to visit. So the first store that we went to is Book Culture, which is all the way up on 112th Street and Broadway. It's kind of near Columbia College, which my brother actually got his master's from. So I've actually only been to that bookstore like a handful of times because there was a little brunch spot over there that Andrew and I used to go to when we were dating, and then we would pop into Book Culture after. But I don't really go like that far up anymore. I usually tend to stay more like Midtown and then downtown. So it was fun to revisit that store. And while it was there, I got My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Otessa Moshfegh. So I had like a list with me of things that I might potentially want to get. This was on the list, but they actually had a used hardcover there for $12. So I was like, well, that makes my choice very easy. So I love the pink spine. So it's actually kind of fitting that I got this because the main character is actually a recent graduate from Columbia. Kind of funny coincidence, but she is someone that just like needs a break from the world. She's kind of had enough and she decides to go into hibernation, and she has a very bad psychiatrist that prescribes her all of this medicine, and the book is just about her experience like shutting herself out from the world. I've heard great things about it and I am really excited to read it for myself. Next we went to the Strand on Columbus. I do really like the one on Columbus. It's very clean. They've like cultivated a very good selection of books at that store, so I always enjoy visiting it. I feel like I'll always find what it is that I want, and this was another really easy decision for me. I ended up getting Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner. This is a nonfiction memoir by the artist the artist known as Japanese Breakfast. I used to love Japanese Breakfast and I've been very curious like about reading her book. I feel like it's something that I'm going to very much relate to, in the sense that I believe she wrote this right after losing her mother, which is something that I can unfortunately relate to. It actually was originally a piece that she wrote for the New Yorker, and it kind of went like viral, and then she ended up expanding upon it and publishing the memoir Crying in H Mart. I love the title. I think it's hilarious, and I'm so excited to read it. But the Strand, if you can see, let's focus there, had a signed first edition. So I was like, okay, well, no question that this is the book that I'm getting there, even though they had one other book that was very high on my list, and I'm really hoping that I'll be able to find it at another store. But I was like, this has to be the one. And I actually met up with Alexa at the Strand, and then we walked together. Well, we were in the Strand for a little while, and then me, her, and Andrew all walked over to Shakespeare and Company, which is the next store that we visited. Shakespeare and Company is on Broadway in like 69th-ish, I can't remember. It's up there. I actually haven't gone to this store too many times. I had been frequenting it pre-pandemic, and then obviously didn't really go to bookstores for the past year, so it was also fun to go back here. They had a 10-person limit in their store, so we had to wait a little while before we were allowed in, but obviously not a big deal, and good that they're being safe. So from my list, they had a couple of options, but I ended up going off list. I found something where the cover looked really nice, so I picked it up, I read the synopsis, and I was like, I'm sold. This is the book that I'm getting here. And that is The New Wilderness by Diane Cook. It's about characters who are living in a city where the air quality is like really unhealthy, and they end up volunteering to go live in this like forbidden nature kind of land where people were never allowed to be before, but they're going as like, I think it's like part of an experiment to see whether humans can live in nature without destroying it. And it just sounded captivating. So this was the choice that I went with in Shakespeare and Company, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have 3 books, it's gonna be time to put things down. It was actually, my bag was surprisingly light, so I didn't really need to stop home, but I'm still glad that we did, just so that we can like eat and drink water and just refresh before we head back out. So now I'm gonna go have some lunch, and then we're going to head out again, and you guys will see clips from the next stores. Corner that Andrew and I got engaged in. did it. We hit the remaining bookstores and we are now home, and I'm so excited to show you guys what I got and then stop filming so that I can sit down because we walked so much today. Actually, I'm gonna check on my phone to see the exact numbers because it was a lot. We went to 3 Lives and Company, and I showed a clip of like a building where there's nothing there because we got there and that's what their location looked like, and I was like, uh-oh. So then I ended up going to their website and finding out that they had to temporarily relocate because of construction. So then we walked down to their temporary location, which is very tiny. Very cute, but very tiny. So that was actually pretty quick. I think we spent more time like waiting outside to get in the store than we did actually like being inside. And then from there we walked to the Strand in Union Square. And then from there we walked down to McNally Jackson on Prince Street. So we hit 6 bookstores today. Oh no, my battery's dying. I might have to switch that out. Oh, Andrew. It was more. Mine says that I walked 9.3 miles today. That's weird. 20,698 steps. I outwalked you. That's a lot. No wonder I'm tired. I think I'm actually gonna switch out my battery before this one dies while I'm trying to show you my haul. So be right back. Same tote bag, new books. First up from 3 Lives and Company, I picked up Severance by Ling Ma. This is, I believe it's a pandemic book, kind of apocalyptic, and it is about like the millennial experience and compares like corporate America pretty much to a pandemic. So it sounds like it's going to be very interesting, and now that we are on the heels of the pandemic that we've lived through, I think it's something that I can read. It's not something that I would have picked up in the past year because I definitely would have just had like too much anxiety about it, but it's been on my radar for a while. Next, from the Strand bookstore, I picked up Burnt Sugar. This is by Avni Doshi. This was shortlisted for the 2020 Man Booker Prize. I've seen this one around a little bit. It sounds really interesting, and I know that it explores like Alzheimer's, and my grandma actually passed away last year and she had Alzheimer's, so I thought that this would be an interesting piece of literary fiction to read, though it's going to be obviously totally different than her because this one is more about a mom who really like mistreated her daughter. Like they didn't have a very good relationship. She didn't do a very good job taking care of her as a kid, and now her daughter comes back to take care of her mom, but her mom has like no recollection of all of the bad things that she did while the daughter was growing up. And my grandma was the best, so that's gonna be different, but just interesting to read about the disease. And then lastly, at McNally Jackson, I picked up Minor Feelings by Kathy Park Hong. This is a memoir from the daughter of Korean immigrants, and it's about her experience in America, and it sounds like it's going to be really interesting. I've read a lot of like Black anti-racist reads. I haven't really read any like non-fiction Asian books about race. Usually when I read Asian authors, I'm reading like, you know, fun stories or like thought-provoking stories. I haven't ever delved into something that's like non-fiction about race. So this has been on my radar and it looks really good. I'm really excited. I was kind of torn between getting this and Blueberries, but I really like the UK cover of Blueberries like a lot better than the US one, so I ended up deciding to pick this one up from McNally, and I'll order Blueberries from a UK store. So that is everything. That is Indie Bookstore Day 2021 in the books. I'm really excited. I had a really good day, but I'm also really tired and really excited to just drink water and lay down and read. So that's all that I have for this video, and I will see you guys soon in a new one. Bye!